Hello and welcome to the Super Casuals. My name is Auronado. From one patch to the next, and one expansion to the next, World of Warcraft has gone through a colossal number of changes. Today's video is the first in a series in which I will be comparing the fundamentals of WoW now and then. At the end of my Battle for Azeroth review, I stated that I prefer the way the game used to be over the current version. That isn't to say that the modern game is bad, just that I like the way it used to be better. It doesn't make me happy to see the subscription count plummeting over time until they stop telling us the numbers. It doesn't make me happy to watch a game I used to love so much slowly turning into something so different from what made me fall in love with it in the first place. Amongst the countless changes to the game that have occurred over time, a great many have been positive. Where I take issue is with many of the changes made to the core of the game, the fundamentals, and I believe many of these changes have changed the game in a negative way. In this series, I will explain how the fundamental systems of the game used to work, how they work now, and explain why I believe the changes were for the worse. The first fundamental I will discuss is the leveling. Leveling, at its core, is a system of progression for a character in a game. I imagine that the vast majority watching this video know exactly what leveling is, but I'll explain it very quickly for the uninitiated. Your character gains experience by performing actions in the game, such as killing monsters or completing quests. Once enough experience points have been gained, the character will level up. When a character levels up, they gain an instant power boost, more health, bigger stats, stuff like that. Some games require your character to have leveled up enough times before they can use certain items and equipment, so they can use better spells and abilities, or to be allowed into some areas. Or, even more simply, you get to watch your character get stronger over time through bigger numbers on the screen. The fundamentals of leveling in World of Warcraft are gaining experience, learning new abilities, and the talent system. Essentially, the fundamentals of how your character progresses as a class. Today's video will talk about gaining experience. In earlier versions of WoW, you had two ways to level your character: killing relevant creatures and completing quests. That was it. Blizzard implemented systems to stop people from slaughtering creatures much weaker than they were for experience, and made it so having higher level players in the party took a bigger share of the experience. It was in your best interest to fight things, do quests, and group with players at or near your character's level if you wanted to be efficient. You also gained a small amount of extra experience for exploring areas on the world map. It helped a little bit, but it wasn't a good idea to try and explore higher level areas for a quick boost, since the monsters there would murder you. Ask any old Forsaken players about the welcome bears in the Western Plaguelands, for example, as to why you used to respect zone borders. In modern WoW, you get experience for doing pretty much anything. The same three sources from before are still there, but now you'll also gain experience for doing battlegrounds, completing dungeons, completing pet battles, mining, picking flowers, and I'm sure I'm missing multiple sources here. Oh, and don't forget you can now straight up buy leveling boosts for real-life cash. Modern World of Warcraft has experience gains that are far too common and far too easily acquired. It is completely possible to get a character to the maximum level without fighting a single creature in the world or completing a single quest. It is also possible to use the random dungeon finder at level 15. At which point, you can literally sit in a city somewhere, never go out into the world again, and the game will teleport you to dungeons allowing you to get to max level that way. I feel that the game rewards players too much for activities that are supposed to be or produce their own rewards. If you are out in the world picking herbs, the reward is the herbs themselves. You can use those herbs for trade skills, you can sell them on the auction house, heck, you might even vendor them if you're a new player that doesn't know any better. Completing a dungeon used to be an accomplishment unto itself. There is no need to get a giant experience boost on top of that. I like the old way, where if you wanted the level, you went out into the world and you fought for it. You killed those 10 boars for Grandma Betty. You delivered those 8 tiger butts to Eric Von Questgiver. And you might have even skinned them or used their bits and pieces for cooking. Nowadays, you'd be wasting your time skinning those boars and tigers, and the cooking bits are completely useless. But that's a subject for another video coming soon. A character's level is supposed to represent the relative power of a character. A level 60 warrior is stronger than a level 55 warrior. The character should have to go fight things in order to get more battle strength. Picking flowers or mining ore will make the character better at picking flowers or mining ore. When things already have their separate skill level system, they do not need to grant you experience on top of that. The battleground point is contentious. I personally believe any kind of combat should grant your player experience, and that means PvP should grant experience. That said, I am fully well aware of the twinking community and their desire to make super powerful versions of low-level characters and have them duke it out. For those who do not know, a twink is a lower-level character that, through the aid of higher-level characters, have the absolute best gear and all the special goodies on top of that that a low-level character could possibly have at that lower level, so that they can go and fight other low-level characters with a substantial advantage. By making a separate battleground system for characters that could now turn off their experience gains, they all but killed the twinking community in the process. But I digress. This was a no-win situation for Blizzard. They were going to anger players no matter what they did. I do see both sides of this one. I agree with the decision to make Battlegrounds give experience on the principle of consistency with what the game's rules should have been. The problem is the game had established the rule before that change. Battlegrounds did not give experience, which means despite the fact that I think that they should, I don't think they should have changed it after it was established to be the way that it was, and had been for many years. Stay tuned for the next episode where I will discuss class abilities and how they were learned from one expansion to the next. But until then, I thank you for watching the Super Casuals. My name is Auronado. Remember, keep it casual. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe if you'd like to see more.